Yes. The Breakfast Club, bitches.
Who's Donkey of the Day today?
Well, Donkey of the Day for Wednesday, March 31st goes to a 38-year-old man named Brandon Elliott. Who the hell is Brandon Elliott? I have no idea. I only know what I've learned in the past 12 hours. But if you have seen the video of the 65-year-old, I think she was Asian, a Filipino woman, walking down the street, and then a man who looks like he could be a member of the New Day in the WWE kicks the woman in the stomach, okay, knocks her to the ground, then proceeds to stomp on her face while screaming anti-Asian slurs and telling her, "You don't belong here." Okay, the woman has been identified as Vilma Kari. She was discharged from the hospital yesterday after being treated for serious injuries. So I am sending her love, light, and healing energy this morning, okay? And I wish that I was there to stab Brandon Elliott, okay? I don't wish that. I wish this whole situation never happened, but based off those circumstances, I wish I was there or somebody was there to do something to Brandon Elliott. A stabbing would have been nice. What are you talking about, Charlamagne? What situation? Well, let's go to ABC 7 NY for the report, please.
Charlene, the man charged in this case was out on lifetime parole for stabbing his own mother back in 2002. He served 17 years behind bars and again was out on parole when this happened, but has been arrested in this brutal attack that happened right here in front of this building in broad daylight just less than 8 hours ago. Now, 38-year-old Brandon Elliott was arrested late last night walking into the Four Points Sheraton Hotel that is now a homeless shelter where he's been staying only blocks away from the crime scene here on West 43rd Street. He was cuffed after this brutal attack that was caught on camera Monday morning of a 65-year-old Asian woman as she was knocked to the ground, stomped and kicked as she was on her way to church. She remains hospitalized with a broken pelvis this morning. Elliott is now charged with assault as a hate crime, among other charges. As for the two security guards that were working in front of this building where this happened, there's video of them actually shutting the doors as this attack was happening. We know that they are now suspended from their job.
They need to be fired. A broken pelvis. I can't explain to you the way I feel when I see cowardly ass people doing things like this to the elderly. I don't care what the race of the person is. When I see a 65-year-old woman get beat up by a 38-year-old man, my mind goes to my mom, my aunts, and if you would do that to a 65-year-old woman, you would do that to anybody. Therefore, no one is safe. And clearly, Brandon Elliott has some type of mental issues, okay? There is no reason he should have been on the street to begin with, all right? In 2002, like you just heard, when he was 19, he was convicted of murdering his own mother. He stabbed his own mother to death. We spoke about this earlier this week in regards to the 13 and 15-year-old girls who carjacked the Uber Eats driver, and the Uber Eats driver ended up dead, and now they've been charged with murder. What should happen to kids who make those kind of mistakes? 19 is an adult, okay? He went to prison for like 17 years, came home. I think I read in 2019. He came home in 2019. So now he commits a crime like this. Clearly, prison is not the answer. If prisons were actually correctional facilities, then yes. Okay, you put this guy, Brandon Elliott, in a prison, and you immediately get to see what the hell is going on with him psychologically. Okay, when it comes to mental health, if a 19-year-old man kills his mom, stabs his mom, you have to know he needs more than just discipline. Okay, especially if you plan on releasing him. Even if it's 17 years later, you gotta know that whatever trauma, pain, hurt, or whatever psychosis this guy has that caused him to kill his mother only got worse after 17 years, especially if he wasn't really being treated. And if y'all were treating this guy for his mental health issues, if he was seeing a psychiatrist in jail, there's no way said psychiatrist would recommend this guy be released. I know he's on lifetime parole, but what the hell does that mean? All right, they arrested dude at a hotel turned homeless shelter in New York. I hardly doubt, I don't know here, I hardly doubt, though, there's any psychological evaluations going on there. I don't know. I just know this dude shouldn't have been on the street. Okay, if you attack a 65-year-old woman in broad daylight, 2 blocks from Times Square, in a heavily policed area, Midtown Manhattan, something is clearly wrong with you. Now, let's talk about this area. I said it was heavily policed. It usually is. But where were they? Police are always policing the people who don't need the police to never around when things like this happen. And I have to give some of this hee-haw to the 2 security guards who are in the video who were suspended, and rightfully so. They need to be fired. 2 security guards who just sat there and watched. Did nothing. In fact, one of the security guards went and closed the building door. Didn't intervene when this dude was beating this woman, and didn't even offer any aid after the fact. Cowards. And coward is not a strong enough word. I just see these things and I say to myself, how did y'all get here? The stork? I'm serious. Guys like this make me believe the German folklore about storks finding babies in caves and bringing them to households in a basket. I'm lying. I've never believed such nonsense, and I don't know why you would either. But the reason I say that is because when you allow things like that to happen to any woman, in particular an older woman, I tend to think you have zero emotional connection to any woman in your life whatsoever. How do you see this situation and not picture that being your grandma, your mama, your wife, your daughters, your best girlfriends? Like, that's really a Peter Parker, Uncle Ben moment. Remember when Peter Parker let that dude rob the wrestling promoter who owed him money? He just let the guy go, and the guy left and ended up killing his Uncle Ben. That's what happens when we, the people, stand around and let people get away with stuff like this. Brandon Elliott is clearly violent, clearly unstable, killed his own mother in 2002, and now in 2021, he's beating up elderly women in the street for no reason. Do you think women in your life are safe with guys like that on the street? Don't wait until drama knocks on your front door to do and say something. You could have stabbed the guy right then and there. It was 2 or 3 security guards of nice size, by the way. They could have beat the hell out of Brandon Elliott right then and there and would have been considered heroes this morning. Y'all were in a position that a bunch of folks want to be in, and that's the I wish a nigga would position, okay? My brother Wax and I talk about that all the time. Every time one of these traumatic videos come across the timeline, or we see some, guy beating up on an elderly person, we sit back and say, I wish a nigga would do something like this in front of us. Wax calls those freebies. Okay, Wax is a person that also likes to fight. So he's always looking for a reason. You can't find a more righteous one than this. And you security guards who should not be security guards ever again because you failed to secure and guard Vilma Carey, your name should be out there so folks can properly identify you. But the moral of the story is we have to beat people like Brandon Elliott up. Okay, if you are a man, all right, even a woman with a gun, when you see the elderly among us being attacked, you have to intervene. Respect and protect your elders. Respect and protect your elders, because someday, and sooner than you could imagine, you will be old and need to be respected and protected too. Please give Brandon Elliott and those cowardly-ass security guards who stood around and did nothing the biggest hee-haw. Matter of fact, let Remy Ma give him the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, you stupid motherfucker. Are you dumb?
Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.